I lost my job. What am I going to do? Guys, losing your job, particularly during the coronavirus and COVID-19 crisis that we're having right now, is very painful and definitely scary. This is going to be a two-part series of all the things that you'll need to do before you put yourself out there. Now, if you've watched my videos before and you found them helpful, by all means, please subscribe. Make sure you're clicking like down below, and to get notifications, you're going to have to click that little bell down below as well. Hey, welcome to Josh Forrest, where we learn to attract, hire, and retain the top performers in the Salesforce economy, as well as make sure that we're positioning ourselves as a candidate as a top performer for the companies that hire them. My name's Josh Matthews. I'm president of the SalesforceRecruiter.com. So let's go ahead and get right down to it. Now, while I absolutely love it when people have all the get up and go and drive in the world to go ahead and start making phone calls and submitting their resume and just getting after it, I think that's fantastic. But before you actually talk to people and before you start interviewing with people, I think it's really important to just take a pause, take a moment, do a little bit of reflection and a little bit of processing. Do you have the kind of winning attitude right now that you know is going to be absolutely necessary to secure a new position? Look, guys, it's not all tech skills, right? It's not how many certifications you've got in Salesforce. It's not how long you've spent at your last job. People want to like you. And even if you're an incredibly likable person, if you're feeling upset, it's going to be really difficult to win the interviewers over. So make sure that you give yourself enough time to grieve and just take a breath and get through some of those initial hours and days to process things. One of the things that we don't want to happen is for you to come home, say, hey, honey, it happened and I lost my job. And then, 7 a.m. the next day, they're like, well, why aren't you up and looking for a job? You need to make sure that they slow it down a little bit. Give yourself some time. Don't succumb to the pressure and don't succumb to the fear, because you really only get one chance to make a first impression. And if your first impression is the day after, or 2 days after, or 3 days after you lost your job, I can almost guarantee that unless you're a well-trained actor, that first impression is not going to be pretty stellar. So, take my advice, calm down, slow down, do your grieving, spend a few days trying to process this stuff mentally. Okay, let's get to number 2, and that's your mood, right? A couple things that we can do to stabilize our mood and ensure that we've got the right kind of positive attitude that we need to be the top candidate in an even more competitive landscape. Like, guys, the days when you're getting 10 calls a day from recruiters and it was super annoying and, you're just like, I don't want to talk to a recruiter. Like, those days are definitely over right now. If they're still calling you, great, take the call. If you're grieving, it doesn't mean don't take the call. It just means, take some time. Okay, the number one thing that we can do to improve our mood is look after our body. All right. So when we get the right amount of sleep, when we eat the right kind of food, when we have the right kind of diet in general, and when we're exercising and moving our body, all of those things support our endocrine system. That's the system in our bodies that is a system of glands that moderate and facilitate our growth, development, sexual function, mood, right? Tissue, like all of these things. So you've got to look after your body. And when you do that, fortunately, your mood will follow. It does not mean that you're going to be super happy about your situation, but it does mean that you're going to be investing in doing the right kinds of things to give you the very best chance. All we're looking for here are small little advantages over our competitors for the specific opening that we're trying to get or the specific jobs that we're applying to. So protect your mood by looking after your body. What that also means is if you have currently really fantastic habits, right? If you like to go for a run and you're allowed to in the community that you're living in right now during the shelter in place orders and this sort of thing, don't stop that. If you wake up at 7 a.m. every day and you shave and brush your teeth and then eat 2 eggs on toast or avocado toast or whatever, don't stop doing that. It doesn't mean sleep until 11. After a few days, right? After a few days, take a little bit of time. But you want to get right back into the habits that have supported you and helped allow you to be a highly productive employee. You want to continue those habits. So don't just put on the brakes and say, F it, it's all over. I'm just going to sleep in. I'm going to stay up till 3 a.m. watching Netflix. I'm going to drink twice as much whiskey, twice as often as I used to. I'm going to buy twice as much ice cream and just dive into bags of Doritos every day and order pizza every day. It's probably not going to be the thing that's going to give you an advantage in this very tight job market. So don't do that, all right? All right, number three. Number three is all about how we frame the experience. I lost my job, my company sucks, I know they made a mistake, they should have kept me, those guys are idiots. That's a way to frame your experience. You lost your job because your company couldn't survive by having lots of people on payroll when they're not having income from their clients. And they don't have income from their clients because there's a major disease that's killing, and so far to date, 20,000 Americans to date so far. It's Easter Sunday right now, 20,000 lost souls in our country. It's just absolutely horrible. So my recommendation is you put on your Patriot hat. I've got one, I'll show you that in a minute. And you kind of got to take it on the chin. You lost your job to save someone's life, right? At the end of the day, that's it. Or if you're not comfortable with that, you lost your job to save a company that, if it survives, hopefully can one day hire you back. Because if you loved your job and you want to go back, that's always an option. Okay guys, so those are the first three things. This has been part one of a series. Part two is going to be a few additional pointers to help get you kind of geared up and ready to enter the job market, be the best job candidate that you can be in this current market. So if that's up, if you're watching this and that's up, I'm going to stick it right up here and you can go ahead and click on it. Thank you for watching. Again, please subscribe, like, and share. That's the most important thing of all.